There are a tremendous amount of differences between the different political parties that are running in this election. Despite Mark Carney copying a lot of Pierre Poilievre's points, the pillars of the Liberal Party are still very different, significantly different than that of the Conservatives. But one thing that's a very similar reoccurring theme between every single party is they all have enough money. They've raised enough money. They allocated enough money to campaign for this election. All but one. And no, it's not the Green Party. It's not even the PPC. It is Jagmeet Singh and the NDP. They have literally no money. None. Zip. In fact, a lot of people watching this actually have more money in your savings or just in equity than the entire federal NDP party has for this campaign. Yup, that is very pathetic for a federal party that is running for prime minister. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help with the growth, and it's an absolute free way to do that. But if you want to go above and beyond that, you're more than welcome to visit the link down below in the description or the pinned comment below and get yourself a lawn sign, man. It's election season, and show your pride with a lawn sign or a pack of stickers. Again, my favorite right here is a Canada First one, or even a hat. There's hoodies, there's shirts, there is the whole shebang. And if you use code SAVECANADA, all in caps, you'll get yourself 20% off. We're talking about Jagmeet Singh, how he is absolutely broke, no money, zip. It's quite funny. And the way that he's going about his rallies is kind of pathetic. It's really giving off vibes that they are desperate for money, trying to rally up the last bit of motivation. Oh, and above and beyond being broke, his own team, Tom Mulcair, CTV political analyst and previous leader of the NDP, right before Jagmeet, has come out and said, do not vote for Jagmeet Singh. But we're going to get into all of this in this video. So without further ado, let's get started.
Thank you. Check. Thank you so much. Give it up for Lily Chang right here. CLC. And give it up for Matila one more time. Woo! How y'all feeling? How was door knocking today? Yes. Wait, one more time. How are you feeling? Okay. That's the energy I'm used to when I come out here. Listen, we've got an incredible candidate, but before we get into that, thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you. You really mean the world to us. You are our movement. You are the energy. So give yourselves a round of applause. And you all know we have an incredible candidate here. We're in the office of Butila Carpoche. Butila is someone I know personally, someone has been an amazing force in this riding, has fought so hard for people. You've seen her passion, you've seen her commitment. Now let's send her to Ottawa. You know, in this election, I also should say we just got news. It's very fitting because Lily Chang comes from this riding, or from this union. Thank you. We just got the national QP endorsement. They endorsed the NDP. So it's important for you when you're going out door to door and you're meeting people to let people know the choice they have in this election, because the choice is really important. They got Mark Carney, who is really good at making billionaires lots of money, but the way he did that is on the backs of working people, right? If you look at the way he did it, right? He was someone that jacked up rents for people. He kicked them out of their affordable homes, put it back on the market, tripled the rent.
This does really give off a used car salesman pep talk. I also think it's a bit of a like a summer camp counselor, you know, trying to hype people up. Make sure when you go home, you tell your parents that they got to sign you up for next year right away. Lock in that money. Like, it just feels like it's a weird camp counselor, man. I can't get over it.
Rent. He laid off workers. He's someone that made lots of money for billionaires, on the backs of working people. He's not the person that's going to fix the housing crisis. He's not the guy that's going to actually make life better for people. He's going to make life better for billionaires, but it's going to hurt working class folks. It's going to hurt everyday folks. And what about Pierre Poilievre? Pierre Poilievre has been clear about his plan. His plan is to cut services for you and your family. He wants to cut health care. He wants to cut child care. He wants to cut dental care. He wants to cut from you to give tax breaks for billionaires. That's not going to fix problems here in Toronto, is it? No. So what does that leave then? What does that leave? It leaves New Democrats. If you believe, I want you to say this to people when you're on the doorstep. If you believe in universal public health care, vote NDP. If you believe.
No, I'm going to stop him right there because I know where he's going with this. Look, universal public health care will be around in Canada, and it'll always come off of our taxes. That's never going to change. What hopefully will change is adding an extra layer, adding privatized healthcare, so that if you have the money for a medical checkup, a procedure, you're not at the mercy of waiting for the queue to kind of free up. Our healthcare system is so clogged right now, and there is not a single thing wrong. There's no negatives to adding a privatized healthcare system. We have a bunch of immigrants that are very qualified living in Canada to be a part of our healthcare system. And they're instead delivering Uber Eats and doing DoorDash and working jobs that they are very overqualified for because we don't have a red seal. We don't have a red seal certification for our healthcare system. It's insane. And that's the immigrant side of it, right? Newcomers to Canada. There's also a problem in Canada that you hear about intra-provincial trade, and a lot of people think Okanagan wine. A lot of people think of our oil and gas, but there's also the services aspect of it. If you are trained as a paramedic in Ontario, you work there for a couple of years, you can't just leave Ontario and become a paramedic in British Columbia. You have to go through the qualifications of being a paramedic from the ground up in British Columbia when you move. So that a red seal certification is going to solidify the fact that if you're qualified in your profession, you can be transient within our country. That's phenomenal. So we should absolutely start to have these pillars set up so that we can add more healthcare to our beautiful country. Have medical tourism. People from other countries will want to come here and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, billions of dollars, $1 billion industry, man. You need a procedure, you need something done, you need whatever. You go to Canada, you pay for it, and then off you go, right? So the fact that he's against that just goes to show that he has literally no idea how to run a country.
I believe everyone deserves a place to call home. Vote NDP. If you believe in building a country for the middle class, for the working class, and not the billionaires, vote NDP. If you believe people should be able to afford their groceries, vote NDP. If you believe that hope and optimism is better than fear and division, vote NDP. So take that message out there, keep on knocking on doors, and let people know that we have a real option in this election. A party that's committed to fighting for you, not the billionaires. A party that's committed to everyday folks, not the CEOs. That's New Democrats. That's Butila Carbochi here in this riding. That's New Democrats across the country. Let's get it done. Let's win. Let's do this for the people. Thank you so much. You're so amazing. NDP. 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 One more time. Yeah!
Dude, this is so cringe. I don't know, man. That's just freaking weird to me. This guy, a used car salesman or just, a camp counselor vibe. I don't like it. That guy is weird. That's just the vibe that he gives off. Never mind his policies, his talking points. The dude's a total train wreck. I can't even say plane crash because he can't even afford a plane. So how's it going to crash, right? Well, that right there is a good point. How is he going to crash if he doesn't have a plane? Well, let's get into the numbers and take a look at why he can't afford a plane. Jagmeet Singh is forced to travel by bus as the party is too broke to afford a campaign plane as he had in previous elections. Now, hey, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Chartering a plane is a lot of money. A lot. I actually Googled it the other day. Air Canada 737 or something like that is $18,000 per hour. That's what Carney's using right now because he doesn't have access to Canadian Goose One, our prime minister's plane, because he's not elected, okay? It's a lot of money. But the NDP has historically been in debt for many years. In fact, they took out, I think it was a $10 or $11 million loan during the last snap election in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, and they haven't been able to get enough funds or recover any of that money. So, it's actually pretty funny. Like, it brings a big smile to my face that he's not able to travel by plane because he's broke. To match their declining poll momentum, the federal NDP and leader Jagmeet Singh will be hitting the campaign trail by bus instead of using a chartered jet like everyone has done and they have done in the past elections. The New Democrats revealed their campaign plan in a recent post on social media. Our campaign bus will be making its way across the country, connecting with everyday people on the issues that matter most: healthcare, housing, and affordability, said the NDP via an X post. The party did not explain its decision to charter a bus rather than a plane. However, the NDP has had financial struggles in the past, including incurring heavy debts during elections. There you go. This has been going on for quite some time. Jennifer Howard, the NDP National Campaign Director, told CBC on Friday the party is going into this election with the best financial shape since Singh became leader. I would love to actually see those finances. I wish that were public. I wish we could see how much money they have and how much debt they're in, because I think that would be worthy of cracking a beer and laughing at their expense. Since Singh took over the party in 2018, the balance sheet of the NDP has been on a steep and concerning decline. In its last audited financial statement, Jagmeet Singh, the NDP, reported having only $289,000 in free cash. To put that into context, between RSPs, TFSAs, and non-registered accounts, the average 65-year-old individual has a savings of around $319,000. So his entire party, according to the last audit financial statement, is less than the average 65-year-old has in savings. And so that's why he can't afford the plane. They're just running on debt. They're running on fumes. And I think that this election that we're about to see right now, that we're going to go through, is going to bust the party. I think that they're going to just literally go bankrupt and that the NDP won't be around for much longer. You might see the NDP be acquired by that Bayless guy, right? That rich billionaire or something like that, or somebody else, but they don't have any money. There's going to be a new leader soon. Later this year, I'm very confident that Jagmeet Singh will step down as party leader. He'll resign as a member of parliament. He's running out of money. He's milked us for everything he's got, and his time is up. As reported by the National Post, Singh expensed more than $500,000 over 9 months to run his constituency office in Burnaby, versus Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, who only charged $143,000. So Singh has historically just squeezed the government for as much money as he possibly can. And now he's got none. He's got nothing left. All parties have a plane that they can travel around. Now, the Bloc may have a plane, but they don't need it because they're just in Quebec. The Bloc isn't coming out to Alberta or British Columbia or Ontario. They're just a separatist group. They stick to Quebec. But going back to the NDP, I think that, again, I firmly believe that we're in the final stretch of Jagmeet Singh's political existence. I think that because he's actually going to lose a significant amount of seats. He's projected to lose a lot of seats. People are concerned about maybe vote splitting, right, that some parties have, such as PPC. When you vote for PPC, you're taking away from Pierre Poilievre, right? And there's an argument there. If you're voting for NDP, you're taking away from the Liberals. There's an argument there as well, right? But what we're going to see with Jagmeet is he's going to have less seats than ever. He's going to be more irrelevant than ever. You're going to see NDP MPs that are losing confidence in Jagmeet, because what's the point of being a political leader if you aren't growing your fan base, if you're not gaining more momentum, if you're not gathering more seats and bringing in more funds? That's literally the whole point of politics. Yes, to make change, but you can't make those changes if you're not doing all those other things on the back end. Look at the Green Party. The Green Party, they might as well not even exist, right? They have 2 seats, for crying out loud. So again, Jagmeet Singh, his time is almost up. Now we're going to take a look at another one of Jagmeet Singh's rallies where he's just reeking of absolute desperation.
Solidarity. Solidarity.
All right. First of all, I got to give...
He's all about optics, eh? Look at, it's all women there. It's all women, and the dudes are in the back. It's just all about optics with Jagmeet.
Huge thank you to these amazing CUPE workers. My commitment is to support these workers. I've received the national endorsement from the union, but I'm going to fight every single day to make sure these workers get the respect they deserve. And one of the ways we respect workers is we know that we need investments in services, not cuts. And what we're seeing from the federal other party leaders is the threat of cuts. Now, Pierre Poilievre has just come out and said he's not going to cut. But we know what Conservatives do. Folks in Ontario know what Conservatives do. They cut, and it hurts people. They cut, and it costs people more. We need investments in services. We need investments in our communities, not cuts. And what I'm really disappointed by is that I expected the Conservatives to lie about not cutting and actually going to cut. What I'm disappointed in is that I'm hearing from Mark Carney that he's also talking about cuts to services. And that is the wrong thing to do. That's the wrong thing to do. We need investments in services. He's talking about cutting things like healthcare. He's talking about cutting things like dental care. He's talking about cutting the services that people need, and that's wrong. And so my commitment is that with New Democrats, you will always know whose side we're on. We're not in it for the billionaires. We're not in it for the CEOs. We're in it for these workers you see behind me and workers across this country. We're in it for people. And with that, I'm ready for any questions you might have. I never had any conversations with any opposition leaders about that. What I've said always is that right before Mark Carney pulled the plug and called the election, I said, before we go to an election, what I did put out to the public that I'd be willing to support is supports for the working folks that might lose their jobs. For people that are worried that with the threat of Donald Trump, the cost of living might go up even higher, I want to see investments in our economy that create good Canadian jobs. I want to see us buy and build Canadian so we can be more resilient and stronger. That's what I propose. And with the other leaders, what's clear to me is, what's clear, Mark Carney decided to go to an election instead of doing that. But with respect to the programs and services, do not believe Pierre Poilievre when he says he's not going to cut. That is exactly what he is going to do. He has said he's going to cut pensions. He has said he's going to cut health care. He has said in the past, and he has voted against dental care and pharmacare. He is not going to invest in people. What he wants to do is cut from folks to pay for his massive tax cut for the richest billionaires. That is what he wants to do, and that is wrong.
Look, Jagmeet Singh's career is absolutely over. I don't know how else to put it, right? If you don't want to believe me, you could probably believe the old leader of the NDP party, Tom Mulcair. He had this to say earlier. I can't believe this. Literally said, don't vote for Jagmeet. There you go. As reported by the National Post, former NDP leader Tom Mulcair tells Canadians not to vote NDP. Oh my freaking goodness, man. This is wild. After years of bristling the idea of vote splitting, former NDP leader Tom Mulcair has effectively warned NDP supporters not to split the vote in the 2025 election. Oh my goodness, man. Like, come on. That's the old leader of the NDP. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if, like, Stephen Harper said that about Pierre? It would be over for Pierre. But it's not. It's over for Jagmeet. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. If you can't seriously say you're going to form a government that can take on Trump, then get out of the way for the real contenders, so the real contenders can have at it, he wrote. Mulcair was leader of the NDP between 2012 and 2017, a period that saw the party from the official opposition against the government of Stephen Harper. It was also a position in which Mulcair often had to resist charges that a vote for his NDP served only to split the progressive vote for the benefit of the Conservatives. Mulcair acknowledged as much in his Bloomberg column, writing, "When I was NDP leader, I used to bristle when I heard Liberals warn about not splitting the vote. It seemed so entitled, as if the vote belonged to them." According to Mulcair, what's changed this time is the extraordinary threat from the United States, which he called a threat to Canada's existence. That's why this is shaping up to be a race between ruling Liberals and the opposition Conservatives, with a little room to spare for the others. Mulcair also noted that the NDP are polling at all-time lows, making the party uniquely irrelevant in determining the shape of the next federal government. In an Angus Reid Institute poll released this same day as Mulcair's column, the NDP were polling at record low, or of 7%. If these figures hold until election day, it could translate into a caucus of only 1 or 2 seats, the worst ever showing for the party. This is absurd. The Angus Reid poll was one of the first to confirm the hemorrhaging NDP support is a direct result of the traditional NDP voters stampeding to the Liberals. The survey found that of respondents who had voted for the NDP in 2021, 50% intended to vote Liberal this time, against just 35% who intended to vote NDP again. That is crazy. So unfortunately, and also, predictably, Mulcair is not telling people to go vote for the Conservatives. That's fine. But he is saying that you shouldn't be voting for Jagmeet. And so this kind of leaves me in a bit of a no man's land, because I don't know how I feel about this. On one end, I agree that Jagmeet Singh is a complete waste. And his party, like I just said moments ago, before this even came across my eyes, at the NDP they're toast. They're done. That's it. They're fini. It's over, one could even argue. But if that means that all of those voters are going to be rushing to the Liberals to help Mark Carney, I mean, should we then support Jagmeet and support people to vote NDP? It's kind of one of those double-edged sword things, right? Because I don't want more people from other parties to go and vote for Mark Carney. I want more people to go and vote Conservatives. But most NDP voters aren't going to switch from NDP to Conservative. So this is wild. I mean, quite literally, the prediction that I made 5-10 minutes ago of NDP leader Jagmeet Singh being completely irrelevant, that's going to possibly come true sooner than later. But now let's take a look here at this clip of an interview that Jagmeet Singh had earlier today.
He is getting the support of unions. So what is it that is happening that the NDP can't have that support anymore from some of these groups? Like, where do you think it is that the NDP's message is not resonating with Labour anymore?
Sometimes it's a long time ago, people there's been some gap between when Harper was in power. People might have forgotten what Harper did. But Harper, as a Conservative Prime Minister, and Pierre Poilievre, as a minister in that, a cabinet minister in that government, attacked workers, attacked unions, attacked their ability to organize. And sometimes there's a bit of a gap and people forget what happened before. And so it's our job in this campaign to remind people, this is his track record. This is what Pierre Poilievre did. Voted against minimum wage. Who does that benefit? It hurts workers and it benefits big corporations that want to exploit your labor. Why would you vote against establishing a wage for workers? It shows you you're not in it for workers. So, we're gonna let that be known. We have fought every single day as a party, both me as leader and historically, for working people. We fought for anti-scab laws to ban scabs in our country. We got that done. We have shown you through our actions that we will always prioritize working people.
Oh my goodness. Well, turns out that the working people may not want to prioritize Jagmeet Singh, but they are prioritizing Pierre Poilievre. A union, a massive union, just endorsed Pierre Poilievre early this morning. You have the International Brotherhood of Boilermakers. They actually issued a formal statement fully endorsing Pierre Poilievre, to which Pierre replied, wow, I am deeply moved to have the endorsement from one of Canada's greatest unions, the International Brotherhood of Boilermakers. They will help build the pipelines, the nuclear and LNG plants to help us build an economic fortress against American and other threats. I mean, this is going to be absolutely insane. Why would you have this is what's so curious is these guys are the ones that are actually going to be building the pipelines. Yet Mark Carney's saying that he's going to build the pipelines. So why wouldn't they endorse him? Well, it's very easy. If the Liberals actually did want to build the pipelines, they would have proven that they wanted to finish these pipelines from West Coast to East Coast. They would have proven that they wanted to have LNG and nuclear plants, but they haven't. They haven't done any of that, which is why people like this really large union for the Boilermakers are fully endorsing Pierre Poilievre. In their immediate release, they said, fellow Canadians, it is in the interest of moving forward that the Office of the International Brotherhood of Boilermakers Canada is proud to announce today our endorsement for Pierre Poilievre and all the Conservative candidates across Canada in this federal election. From coast to coast to coast, Boilermakers help provide the energy required to keep the lights on, keep the vehicles running, and keep society moving forward. That's totally badass. For decades, we have poured our sweat, blood, and our very lives into the Canadian energy sector. And for those who don't know, Canada's entire identity and existence for our economy is founded on finance, like our banking, and our energy sector. So it's a huge, huge, huge part of who we are as Canada, as Canadians. We have helped develop the oil and gas, LNG, and nuclear energy production facilities in world-leading industries. Canada has the capacity, the will, and the ability to get Canadian products to market without importing oil from any other foreign nation. The resulting strength of the Canadian energy sector allows us to work towards energy independence, just like Pierre Poilievre and the rest of his conservative team are doing. Like the Boilermakers, Pierre Poilievre's commitment to Canada goes beyond our natural resources. He is also committed to protecting Canadian workers with programs like his recently announced Boots Not Suits plan. This plan will provide funding for apprentice training and facilities, enhance safety, and make it easier for workers to go where the work is across Canada. This plan is designed to strengthen the workforce and reduce reliance on foreign labor, adding 350,000 Canadian workers to job sites over 5 years. That is massive, folks. That is insanely massive. Pierre gets it, says the Brotherhood of Boilermakers. He knows and understands that the surest and most sustainable route to providing a cleaner environment is through technology, not dismantling our energy sectors, raising taxes, and importing energy from other nations and shipping Canadian jobs abroad. This is incredible. For more than 130 years, Boilermakers have been working to build our country into the nation that it is. But more than that, like every other Canadian, we are also building our families here. It is for our families that we do what we do. We believe that Pierre Poilievre is the man best equipped to support all of us in the work that we all do. Pierre Poilievre will bring it home. In solidarity with all Canadians. Signed, the International Vice President for Canada, the International Brotherhood of Boilermakers. Folks, that is a massive, tremendously large endorsement. Oh my goodness. Like, Pierre is he's doing all the right things. He's saying all the right things. He's setting up the pillars of the future of Canada properly. He's getting all of the right people to back him. This is phenomenal. And that's just the start of the endorsements. I think it's just going to snowball effect. That is the end of the video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you are also joining me with having a massive smile on your face, knowing that this is probably the end of the NDP and of Jagmeet Singh forever. Thank you so much for watching. On your way out, if you haven't yet already, I'd like to encourage you guys one last time, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on, and visit the link down below in the description or the pinned comment below. I'll see you all later. Bye for now.